Welcome back to your preparation for the legal aptitude sections of the law entrance exams. In the previous video, we saw the importance of reasoning correctly. It is a vital skill that you need not only for any law entrance exam, but even years later when you become a lawyer. You do remember what Abe Lincoln told us in the last video, don't you? In this video, we take our first step towards learning how to reason correctly. The first step is to learn to identify wrong reasoning. That is what we will do in this video. To do that, we have to first learn how to read some text and identify the structure of reasoning in it. That's what we will do first. A lot of what you will learn now may be instinctive. If you have some basic language abilities, you can probably read an opinion piece published in a newspaper and correctly identify its reasoning structure. But we need to go beyond such an instinctive approach and learn to be systematic. That is what we will do now. First up, let's go through a few passages of text and see if we can spot the reasoning structure. Let's read this text. A reputation as a troublemaker is not a bad reputation when confronting judges who want to struggle through their never-ending list of cases to be heard on that day. A troublemaker lawyer who can call for a strike and violence, who can paralyze the working of courts, will find himself being humored by judges who do not want trouble in the courtroom. Such a lawyer will soon find himself engaged by parties who want to overawe a court or derail proceedings in any matter. He will also be engaged by parties in a righteous cause who will brief him only to prevent him from going over to the other side. A troublemaker who can cow down judges is also more likely to be elected as a representative of the bar than a lawyer whose chief virtue is well-researched articulation in court. These elected leaders of the bar then get invited to social functions at welcomes and farewells involving judges. Elected offices at bar associations then translate into upturns in practice. The ability to win a bar election sometimes translates into a political candidacy as well. It seems to me that the system, as it now exists, does not punish bad conduct, but actually rewards it. Read this passage carefully. Pause the video here if you want to read it again. Now let us briefly step back from this passage of text and ask, what is an argument? The word argument is one that we all instinctively understand in the sense of having an argument. That is, when two people exchange opposing views. But in this course, we are more concerned with the use of the word argument in another sense. To make an argument, that is, to put forward an idea or a theory with reasons in support. So is this passage of text an argument? Let's read the passage again. Is this passage putting forward an idea or a theory supported by reasons? Let's read it more carefully and see what ideas the writer is trying to put forward. It is quite obvious that everything else in this passage is leading to the conclusion that the current system rewards the bad conduct of lawyers. Even if you don't, the words, it seems to me, is quite a big clue. There are other words that are similarly clues that help us identify the conclusion in a passage of text. You already know many of these words. Words like therefore, hence, as a result, and because of these reasons are other examples. Remember to watch out for them, and you should be able to identify the point in a passage of text very quickly. Okay, now that we have identified the point of this passage, let us now look at how the author has tried to support the point. Here are the reasons that the author puts forward to support the conclusion that the current system rewards the bad conduct of lawyers. 1. Lawyers who make trouble are humored by overworked judges who do not want proceedings in their courtrooms to be derailed. 2. Such lawyers are retained by clients who want to overawe the court and by other clients who do not want them to go over to the other side. 3. Such lawyers tend to get elected to represent the bar and thus gain social acceptance and receive upturns in their practice. So this is the argument. The point of the argument is the current system rewards the bad conduct of lawyers. The support for this point comes from 3 different reasons. Now we have identified the reasons that support this point. The next step is to understand the relationship between each of these reasons in their support of the point. Do they support the point independent of each other? Meaning, will the point survive if only one of reason 1 or reason 2 or reason 3 were present? Is any of them a necessary reason? Meaning, will the point survive if one among reason 1 or reason 2 or reason 3 was not present? Technically speaking, are they alternate reasons or concurrent reasons? Let's go back to the text to understand this better. When you read it, it is actually pretty obvious that the 3 reasons provide support to the conclusion separately. Reason 1 is quite independent of reasons 2 and 3 in providing support for the point. Technically, they would be called alternate reasons. This means that reason 1, reason 2, or reason 3 alone would have been sufficient to provide support for the point. The point can survive the absence of any 2 of them. If we were to represent the argument as an electric circuit, the point or conclusion would be the bulb at the end of these 3 switches connected in parallel. Only one of these switches need to be connected if the bulb has to light up. Even if 1 or 2 of these switches were not connected, the bulb would still light up. Reason 1, reason 2, and reason 3 are thus alternate reasons for the point in this text. Just one of them is sufficient to justify the conclusion. So what did we do? In this passage, we first identified the point of the text. Then we identified the reasons in support of that point. After that, we identified the relationship between the reasons. Let's now do a similar exercise with another passage. And with that, we have come to the end of the first session of this unit. Continue learning with the next video.